it was not a leaf cleanup job. So what I normally do, as long as we stay on a consistent schedule and obviously as dry as it's been, I will push the leaves for them, you know, somewhere in a corner where I've been doing it for years. Sometimes I'll do it around the tree. Sometimes you can see where it's really bare right here in the corner. I kind of did it just around the tree for now because I'll be back again in 2 weeks, and I'll probably just end up pushing all of it right here for the city to pick up. I will do that for my customers as long as we stay consistent, as we mentioned in our last video. As long as we stay on that schedule, ongoing, I have no problem, especially when the grass is as dead as it is. But if they do call me for an actual leaf cleanup, for example, if they stop mowing service and then a few weeks pass by, or a month or so, or two, whatever, and then they call me for a leaf cleanup, then that's when the price would change. But I don't really change prices on a situation like this. And this is what they all, you know, always wanted. They don't care if it's like in a particular spot, as long as it's like around this tree or in this area. And so, yeah, not too bad. The back was about the same as the front. I didn't even care to record the back. What's going on? What's going on? All right, let's talk. So we just got here at the little clinic, dental clinic that I maintain, just to show you how tall the grass is before I start mowing. This is the last one of the day. Look at this. It's not even that tall, honestly. I mean, it'll clean it up a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. Just give you another little example of how dry it's been here. Just absolutely dry. We need a good solid weeks of rain for sure. All right, ninjas, so this is the last one, and I have new accounts coming in that are calling me, so that's good. But one thing that was brought to my attention, dust, especially at that last yard, was when you have customers walking up to you. So I had a situation last week. A lady walked up to me and she said, hey, you know, my house is right around the corner, and it was literally our last yard of the day, and I was done for the weekend. And she said, hey, I have a house around the corner, can you come give me a quote and check it out, and can you go ahead and do it? And I told her no. I said, I'm happy to take your information, your name and number and address, or you can just text me. I gave her a business card, and I said, I'll check it out this next week. I said, this is literally, it's a Saturday, it's my last yard of the day, and I'm ready to go. And Jazzy James was with me, and he was ready to go too. And I wouldn't say she was irritated, but she was kind of like, oh, okay. So I gave her my card, and she did text me, so I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. But the point of the story, ninjas, is you have to take control of yourself and your business. And I mean this in a good way. I don't mean this, you need to be out there just ruthless. What I'm saying is, don't let customers control you. There are a lot of controlling customers, and I have experienced quite a few of them throughout several years until I figured out that I just need to, you need to have that backbone, and you need to just go ahead and tell them and say, hey, you know, this is when I can do it. If you like it, great. I'm happy to put you down on schedule and I'll come check it out. Or if you don't like it, here's why it's so important, ninjas. Because when you first meet somebody brand new, that first impression thing is so important, right? You have to have that first impression. And the reason for that is that sets the mood of what kind of business relationship you will have with your customers. So, and it's human nature, again, it's nothing bad, but at the same time, it can be bad for you. It's human nature to, if they see that you're a pushover right away, then they're gonna be a pushover with you the whole time, even when it comes to pricing and everything else. So you don't wanna do that. You wanna set that mood and that stage, and who's in charge here? Are you a business owner, or are you just a worker? I don't just cut grass, ninjas. I didn't start this thing to just cut a little grass here and there, and I'm a business owner. I make my own schedules. I'm an entrepreneur, and so should you be. You have overhead, you have things that you're responsible for, so you make your schedule, you prioritize what comes first, what comes second. You do all that. Nobody does that for you. So with that being said, don't let customers push you over. It's human nature, and bossy customers are always going to try to tell you what to do. And I know you guys have seen it before and heard many times. Our all-time favorite for all of us is you know, the pricing. Hey, I had my guy, last guy did it for this much, can you do it for this much? It's just super rude and disrespectful, but people will try anything, and so you have to set that stage right away. So if I, for example, told her, let's say I told her, hey, and here's what I told her first. I said, hey, you know, she didn't even, before she even said, can you come look at it now? She was just asking me, how much do you charge for cutting grass? And I said, I would have to take a look at your yard. I was like, I'm happy to give you a business card if you want, and you can shoot me the information and I'll come check it out. And that's when she said, okay. So I went and grabbed the business card, and by the time I get back to her car, because she was parked, she pulled up right next to where I was parked. She was like, well, can you come now? It's like right up the road. And I said, no, ma'am. And that's when I explained to her, I said, this is our last yard. It's the weekend. You know, I'll be in the area again next week. But I already told her, I'm happy to come check it out. Here's my card. And now she's telling me to stop what I'm doing, or when I finish, well, I was actually finishing up that yard. So basically, come jump on it right now. The problem with that is, if I had changed my mind right then and there on the spot in front of her, she would have instantly already in her head and said, okay, I got this guy, he's hungry, I can, you know, so whatever price he tells me, I'll be able to change him, lowball him, or negotiate, whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with negotiating neither, but you have to hold your ground. Okay, so there's all kinds of customers, and they're going to try to tell you just like that crazy neighbor that I had just a few days ago. You guys remember, the ones who watched. He comes out and tries to tell me what I should be doing, and it's not even his property. So it's just an example. There are so many ways that people will try to tell you what to do, and you have to take control of it. Do not let and it's really important. It's important to keep that control of yourself and who you are, so that way they know during the whole time of the relationship. But it's really important on that first impression. That first impression will either make or break the relationship. And are they going to be in charge of you, or are you in charge of yourself? The whole point in business, guys, why did you start this business? Why did you get into the lawn care industry? Because you wanted to work for yourself. You wanted to be your own boss. Now I get it. I get it. Without customers, there's nothing. You got to have customers, and you got to do a good job, and you got to, you know, respect one another and all that. But you didn't go into business just so others can tell you what to do. That's the difference between an employee and an employer. When I had a full-time job of 8 years, I was told during the whole 8 years of what to do, and I couldn't argue, I couldn't talk back, and if I ever did, I would have gotten in trouble. And I did a few times opinionate myself, and even that wasn't allowed. If I opinionated myself, if it even slightly came out the wrong way to my supervisor, he would have called me in the office and told me, you know, what's the problem? I told you what to do. Don't question me. And so I had to do what I had to do, because I had to keep my job. So that is one of the reasons why we go into the entrepreneurship and working for ourselves, not for others to tell us what to do. If you want to grow your business, and if you want to establish clientele, you got to be respectful, and you got to do a good job, no doubt about it. But don't ever let anybody tell you what to do. So, bossy customers, they are everywhere, and you just got to be prepared, and you got to know that they're out there, and just be ready and expect it. Basically, people will try anything, and again, it's human nature. Some do it intentionally, because some are just control freaks, but sometimes people just do it, you know, not even realizing it. So just always be prepared of that. All right, I'm gonna try to get a little footage here, guys, and we're gonna call it. But one thing I wanted to go ahead and tell you is the St. Jude donations is coming up, okay? I'm just trying to like get this week out of the way so I can finish everything. So earliest will be this weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and make a video on that, or latest will be early next week. But that is in, by the way, YouTube did release that, and I'm so excited and honored to be a part of this. Ninja Nation came through strong. I'm speechless, and like I said, honored to be a part of it. It's an amazing thing and what we can do for children to come together. And we're gonna do another one probably for another cause here soon, but I want to get this one out of the way. But I will be calling them, so that's why I'm saying if I don't end up doing it this weekend, it'll be first of next week, because I'd like to call them and talk to them and see how to go about it. If I need to just mail in a check, and if so, then I'll go ahead and record that and drop it off. Or if I can pay online and donate that money just online, if that's even an option, I don't know. But stay tuned on that. I wanted to go ahead and give you an update on that because I haven't really mentioned it. I think I mentioned it on Instagram, but not on here. So, all right. Hope you enjoy some of the mowing here. Some of you've already seen it. Not really tall as you've seen when we walked around, but it'll clean it up. Leaves is coming up next. So leaves and aerating, as I mentioned in my last video, aerating is a money killer. Do not miss out on this. If you're just starting into this, or maybe you've got a year or two under your belt, if you're not doing it, you're missing out on some money. Aerating is like a gold mine, so to say. You know, it's just, and it's really good. It's really good for the soil and for new growth, and customers will be happy because it does have a big impact on their yard and what it's going to look like as far as next season coming up. And it's good money, but you got to learn how to quote it properly, accurately. You don't want to underquote it, but you don't want to overquote it neither. Again, it's something that I've learned on my own. I never really watched it because a lot of people don't talk about prices on YouTube, so I never really watched anybody that could help me help me with what I need to be charging. So and trust me, I've undercharged myself several times in the past, but I've learned. And so you know, and we're going to talk about different equipment, what you should be doing, what you could be doing, what you need to be doing, and how do you get to where you need to be before you start upgrading and purchasing to make aerating a little bit easier. If you're push aerating, man, that is tough. That is super hard. But you know, stand-up aerators make life a little easier, but they are very expensive, but you can always rent them. So, but we'll talk about all that. That's coming up. Leaf cleanups as well. There's many different ways that I do leaf cleanups. One of the things real quickly that I was thinking about is closing in my dump trailer and buying one of those leaf whacks. So that way, if we have a leaf cleanup and customers want it hauled off, I can just pull up with it the dump trailer and, you know, blow it all up in a pile and then just suck it all up and haul it off for them. But I'm also really thinking about selling the dump trailer, the one that I have, and getting a little bit bigger one, because the one I have is a 7x14, but I'd really like to get a 7x16, just a little bit longer. And I think it would come handy with mulch too, because you know, a couple of mulch jobs that I have throughout the year, it really can't fit a whole lot of mulch in there. It fits about 7 roughly yards, but I'd like to get around that 10-yard mark. But all right, it's getting dark, I'm losing light. Hope that's helped you ninjas. I thought that was really important to cover, just because there are a lot of controlling people out here, and some do it intentionally and others unintentionally, but it's out here. And I wanted to remind you, why are you in this business? Are you here to tell, you know, to be told what to do, or are you here to take charge and run your business the way you would like to? So tomorrow we're gonna have one of those new accounts that have been calling, maybe 2. I've got 4 total, 3 I've already called, and 1 needs to call me back, but 2 I've made contact with. So, you know, they're coming in. There's gonna be a lot of leaf cleanup jobs coming in that are calling, and aerations, of course. And I'll tell you what you need to do with aerating. We're gonna talk about that, and how do you present that, and you know, how to grow the aeration aspect of your business so you can get more money. The money is phenomenal there. It's absolutely phenomenal. Thousands and thousands of dollars. So sometimes I've made an aerating one year. This was a few years back, but I've made an aerating one year, or one season I should say, was that fall. Almost, if not more than half in what I made in that whole mowing season. But this was a few years back, so I know I was a little bit of a smaller company too, but man, my point is, it just goes to show how much money you can make. It's phenomenal. But hey, enjoy some of the footage here, and that's where it's gonna stop. So we'll see you tomorrow. Freaky Friday, it's a wrap. I hope you guys had a good day. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Let's go.